Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. Today I'm making butter. I got my old-time butter making kit here. This is all stuff that's been used many times before. When I was a kid, we made butter pretty frequently, and this is the stuff that we use to make it. I'm using store-bought cream today, which isn't the best. Fresh cream would be better. I mean, if you would have a farmer that you knew, a dairy farmer, where you could get a pail of milk and let that set so the cream could separate out, that would definitely make a better product. But I got to use what I have, and that's going to be store-bought cream today. Kind of walk you through this equipment here. This right here is a butter mold. And what you do with a butter mold is you either line this with some plastic or some wax paper, or you soak this mold in cold water for about a half an hour, and then you pack your fresh paddled butter into this. And then you're going to let this set again where it's cold for a little bit, and then the plunger on the top here will push that brick of butter out. This is kind of the old style way that they did it, and it makes about a pound blocks of butter when you do it. And this right here is the butter bowl and paddle. It's kind of a low flat wooden bowl, and this paddle, I believe sometimes they call these butter spades as well, because the butter is still going to have buttermilk in it when you're done churning it. So you're going to use this to press the buttermilk out of the butter, and that's actually called kneading it. And then you drain your buttermilk off and save that for other purposes, like making pancakes or biscuits. And that's actually what I'm going to do with the buttermilk. I'm going to save 100% of the stuff that I'm using here today, and then we just put the buttermilk in the refrigerator, and then we use it within probably 2 weeks because it's pretty good stuff to have on hand. And then this right here is kind of the star of the show. This is the butter churn, and it's just an old-time glass butter churn. Holds about 8 quarts or so of cream. I have about 5 quarts of cream. What I'm going to do today, I find with a little bit less than the full amount, it churns a little bit easier. And you just fill your cream in there. You're going to put your hand on top of this, and you're just going to basically turn until your arm's ready to fall off. Churning butter was kind of a pastime that I got stuck doing when I was a kid. I probably enjoy it more now than I did when I was a kid. It was more work then. Now it's more hobby for me. But anyway, I'm gonna fill this up with cream. I'm gonna get this going here for you guys. I'm gonna stop along the way and show you how I'm doing this. All right, I got my churn here, got my workstation cleared off. I got a towel underneath this. That's to keep this from sliding around and getting bumped when I'm using it. All you do is you turn the top of the churn off, just like this right here. Now we're going to dump our cream. In just like so. All right, when I got all this cream dumped in here, I got the top on, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like to start churning it. All right, I got my 5 quarts of cream poured in there. Now I'm going to put my paddle back on. It just screws right on. Got to make sure I don't cross-thread it here. It's got this little vent in the top because this is going to foam up quite a bit. And all you do is put your hand on it and start cranking. This store-bought cream here takes a little bit longer to churn than actual fresh cream would. So it's going to take me a little bit. When I got this clumped up into butter, I'm going to stop again. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like at that point. I'm going to stop here for a second. I'm going to kind of show you guys what this looks like. When we started, the cream was about here, but as you beat this is going to expand, and as you can see, it's filled up the rest of the butter churn. You can kind of see a little bit of the bubbles, air bubbles and stuff forming in here. You're going to make whipped cream before you make butter, so this is going to get thick before it starts to clump up into butter. All right, we've been beating this butter now for quite a while. We stopped a couple of times. My lovely wife had to get some whipped cream out for her for pancakes later. You can kind of see here, it's kind of grainy looking. I'm gonna kind of see here how grainy this butter looks. Actual fresh cream wouldn't be quite this grainy. It would be more solid pieces, I guess. At least that's been my experience. I'm going to kind of show you here how stiff that this has gotten. I showed you there how you can see that's kind of how, when it clumps up like that, that's kind of how you know you're starting to get butter. But there's some other things that kind of let you know too what's going on. This will expand like I showed you earlier, and then as you beat it more and more, it's going to start to compact and start to come down, and the color is going to change. You're going to get this yellowish look to it here, what butter looks like, and that's how you can kind of tell that you've reached the end of your stage. So it's going to expand as it kind of becomes whipped cream, and then it's going to kind of compact down as it starts to turn into butter. So anyway, I'm going to get this out of the churn here into the butter bowl so we can start kneading it. Alright, I got my butter bowl back up here on the counter. I got my churn, I got the top loosened up here. I'm going to take this kind of off, set this back over behind me here, and then I'm gonna kind of show you there. That's what it looks like. If you use actual fresh cream, it's not going to be quite as grainy as what this pasteurized cream is here that you buy at the store. Kind of wanted to show you a little bit what that looks like. Now all we're going to do here is we're going to tip this, and we're going to set this and get all our, you can see how the butter and the milk separated. I'm going to do a weight measurement on this when I'm finished as well. Kind of give you an idea what, give you guys a little bit of an idea what 5 quarts of whipping cream makes as far as the yield on the butter. But anyway, I'm going to start to work and knead this now and get the buttermilk off this. Alright, the first part of kneading this butter is, of course, you can see we got all this buttermilk in here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your paddle like what I have here. You're going to bring that down to the bottom, and you're going to kind of fold this butter up onto the stack here. And then you're going to have this buttermilk on the side. Now, at this point, kind of let the paddle sit there. I'm going to ladle this buttermilk out, and as you can see, there's little tiny chunks of butter in this buttermilk. This is what makes this homemade buttermilk so good for biscuits and pancakes and that kind of stuff, because you're going to get that little bit extra butter fat into your final product. Anyway, I'm going to ladle all this buttermilk out of here and get this into my jars, and then I'm going to continue to work my butter. Alright, I've worked this butter a little bit. I've got a majority of the buttermilk out of this, but there's still buttermilk. You can kind of see it's a little bit slick on the top. There's still buttermilk in this butter. So how you kind of release that is you take your paddle and you kind of do one of these numbers in a bit of a pie pattern all the way around. Like that. And you fold it over. And as you can see, we're still releasing more buttermilk. Give a little press there. We're going to keep doing this until we don't get any residual buttermilk in the bottom of this bowl, and then at that point we're going to salt this butter with a non-iodized salt. Alright, I got my butter worked the way I want it. You can see here that it's dried off quite a bit. Now you don't have to use the stuff here that I've used, the traditional stuff. You can certainly use something as simple as a mason jar to make butter in. You can use a hand egg beater. You can use electric mixer. There's just a bunch of different ways that you can do this. And to work the buttermilk out of the butter, you can use just a shallow stainless steel bowl with a really large spoon too. You don't have to have this traditional stuff to do this. I like my butter with a little salt in it, so even the stuff that I bake with, I like a little bit of salt in my butter. So what I use is just a kosher salt because it doesn't have any iodine in it. I got about a teaspoon there, and when the butter is to this stage, all you're going to do is you're going to sprinkle this butter with the salt. Just like that. And like I said, this is about a teaspoon. I don't know exactly how much butter I have in here yet. I am going to weigh it for you guys before I'm done. Now all I'm going to do is take my paddle and I'm going to fold this over on itself, work that salt in, and then we're going to mold it. Well, here you guys can see the yield from my butter making project today. I started with 5 quarts of heavy whipping cream. I got 4 pounds of butter, and I got 3 quarts of buttermilk after this has been worked and salted. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit of what the yield was on this. All right, this is my butter mold here. This is about a pound what the size of this is. The traditional way would be to soak this in cold water and then put the butter in here, chill it, and then take the butter out. I'm actually going to line this with a little bit of plastic wrap. That way it's going to go much quicker. That way I can just block my butter up and it'll be all done. All you do with your butter mold when you get your plastic in it, just like this, you're going to start taking your butter and you're going to start packing that into the mold. Take small pieces so you can kind of work it in there so you get all the nooks and crannies filled up and you get a nice rectangular block of butter. All right, I got my butter mold filled here. I'm gonna try to push down on this, pull the mold up. Just like that. Set this off to the side here. Now, all I'm going to do is take my plastic off. I'm going to trim around the outside edge, put that butter back in with my bowl to get remolded with the rest of it. And here's our finished butter. We're going to let this chill for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to wrap this in either parchment paper or wax paper, and we can put this in the freezer just like store-bought butter. Probably going to keep one out though so we can have pancakes or biscuits or something with this stuff right away, because it always tastes better fresh, tastes better when you make it. Just kind of wanted to take you guys through the step-by-step process of making butter, kind of show you some of my old-time tools on how I went about doing that. Hope you guys got a little information and a little entertainment out of this video. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. I hope you guys have a great day.